People keep asking this question, usually in a loaded way. Why are vegans so depressed? So let's slow it down. This isn't a dunk. It's not an attack on ethics. And it's definitely not meat good, plants bad. It's a biology question, and biology doesn't care about belief systems. First, let's get one thing straight. Not all vegans are depressed. Plenty of vegans are doing great. And plenty of meat eaters are anxious, medicated, burnt out messes. But here's the uncomfortable part. Across multiple large studies, people following strict vegan or vegetarian diets show higher rates of depression and anxiety on average. Average is doing a lot of work there. It's not destiny, it's a signal. So the only useful question is, why does this pattern keep showing up? Let's start where most conversations go wrong. This is not about morality. You don't get bonus neurotransmitters for good intentions. Your brain doesn't care how ethical your grocery list is. It runs on chemistry, energy, and raw materials. Miss those, and mood suffers, period. Now, a strict vegan diet can meet human nutritional needs. But can is doing some heavy lifting. There are real nutrient bottlenecks that show up again and again in vegan populations, especially when people transition quickly or don't supplement properly. The big ones? Vitamin B12, iron, zinc, iodine, and omega-3s, specifically DHA and EPA. These aren't optional accessories. They're structural components of brain function. B12 is essential for neurotransmitter synthesis and nerve insulation. Low B12 doesn't make you sad. It makes your brain malfunction. Iron matters for oxygen delivery to the brain. Low iron means low energy, poor concentration, and depressive symptoms that get mislabeled as psychological when they're metabolic. Zinc is involved in neuroplasticity and stress response. Low zinc is consistently linked to depression. Iodine affects thyroid function. Mess with your thyroid and mood instability follows quickly. And then there's omega-3s. The quiet one everyone skips past. Plants give you ALA. Your brain is built out of DHA. To get from ALA to DHA, your body has to convert it. That conversion rate, often under 5%. In some people, close to zero. Low DHA is associated with poorer emotional regulation, higher inflammation in the brain, and increased depression risk. This isn't controversial in neuroscience. It's just inconvenient for food ideology. Next issue, calories and protein. This one is brutally boring, which is why it gets ignored. A lot of people go vegan and accidentally starve. They remove calorie-dense foods. They rely on high-fiber, low-energy meals. They think they're eating enough because they're full, but fullness isn't fuel. Chronic low energy availability elevates cortisol. High cortisol flattens mood, wrecks sleep, and increases anxiety. Low protein intake reduces dopamine production. Dopamine isn't happiness, it's motivation and drive. Take that away, and everything feels heavier. Now let's talk about something most people avoid because it sounds rude. Selection bias. People drawn to veganism tend to share certain personality traits. Higher empathy, higher conscientiousness, greater sensitivity to suffering, stronger moral concern. Those traits are admirable. They're also associated with higher baseline anxiety and rumination. In plain terms, veganism doesn't necessarily cause depression. Depression-prone personalities may be more likely to choose veganism. That alone could explain part of the statistical signal. Then there's the social layer. Humans are social animals. Food is one of our main bonding mechanisms. Strict diets come with constant friction. Explaining yourself, negotiating meals, being the difficult one at gatherings. That low-grade social stress adds up. On top of that, many vegans are immersed in constant exposure to animal suffering and environmental collapse narratives. Caring deeply without control creates something called moral injury. You feel responsible for problems you can't fix. That's psychologically expensive. None of this makes veganism wrong. It makes humans human. Now let's be very clear about what this does not mean. It does not mean meat cures depression. It does not mean ethics are a mental illness. It does not mean veganism is inherently unhealthy. It means strict diets increase margin for error. If you're going to restrict food groups, you need to replace what you remove. Intentionally, consistently, and indefinitely. Most people don't. They go in hot, they clean up their diet. They feel great for 6 months. Then deficiencies creep in quietly. Mood drops, energy fades, and everyone argues about ideology instead of fixing inputs. The clean conclusion is boring, which is how you know it's probably right. Higher depression rates among vegans likely come from a stack of factors. Nutrient risk if poorly planned. Omega-3 insufficiency, undereating calories and protein. Pre-existing personality traits, social and moral stress. Remove the stack, proper supplementation, adequate calories, DHA, flexibility, and the signal weakens dramatically. The brain doesn't reward belief systems. It rewards fuel, chemistry, and context. Ignore that, and no diet on earth will save your mood.